Every angler has a favorite time to chase fish with a fly. Whether it be during the blossoming spring, the green of summer, the colors of autumn, or during the cleansing white of winter. It merely offers a backdrop to a pursuit that has attached itself to the soul of a fly fisherman. Rod, reel, fly, and fish. Under that log, behind that rock, or deep in the dark blue could live a fish of a lifetime.
Oh, he got it! He hit it!
It's in that helpless hope that an angler will march from year to year in a lifetime, hoping the next cast connects dreams and a fish of legend. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly.
Welcome to Seasons on the Fly. I'm Greg Heister. And behind me, one of the great trout habitats in the history of the world. Only here in Patagonia, it is a very short history, but it should now be on the list of gotta get to places for every fly fisherman in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Seasons on the Fly, and welcome to Argentina's Limay River.
It's known for the tango, incredible food, and a blend of culture. But to a traveling fly fisherman, Patagonia is known as ground zero.
There we go.
It's a place that is a walk back in time with unsuspecting trout populations.
Yeah. We're here in mid-April.
That was pretty cool.
It's beautiful, which is really, I think, like October. It's the start of fall here in Patagonia.
Nice fish.
You can tell the leaves, the foliage is changing color. Some of the leaves have already come down. Bugs have been on the water. There have been blue-wing olives on the water, all kinds of caddis, and most importantly, fish up eating them.
A gaze into what Montana and Idaho must have been 50 or 75 years ago.
The minute I showed up and there's all these rivers with so few people, I mean, it was just like stepping back in time to a Montana that I never was able to have experienced. But yeah, it was very easy to fall in love with the people, and the rivers were incredible, and experiencing those rivers in a way I never had back at home.
I'd never fished big water here before. It had always been more spring creeky and walk and wade, so it was very different. To me, it just reminded me of these beautiful rivers that we have in, Colorado and Wyoming, and you feel like you're really in the upper desert of Wyoming or Montana. It's just, it was awesome.
Hungry and at times reckless trout who haven't seen many insect imitations laced with a hook.
Oh yeah, nice. All right.
The big part being down here is just the absolute lack of people, and it's sort of, stepping back in time.
Oh, nice brown.
It's easy to forget, when you're on this sort of carousel of drift boats, in the States.
There we go. Fish in the net. Nice.
Thrown and all.
That's nice.
A big part of, fishing to me seems to be the solitude of it, and being, out by yourself is what connects you into it, and it's a different experience of the river because of that, I think.
Any way you slice this place, Argentina's trout fishing is as good as it gets, and the Limay River may be its most unique.
High desert, big water, it's different, but it's such big country. The sky goes forever, and the rock formations are completely unique, and this is a beautiful, beautiful part of the world.
Lo vi. Saca la hoja. Hay otro, esa es otra.
Ron Sorensen has been searching out and living his best life on these rivers for 3 decades now.
It was fantastic. It was wonderful. I mean, I've been guiding for Mike Lawson on the Henry's Fork in Last Chance, Idaho, so here I am
Big tip for the guide now. Big.
in San Martin de los Andes, which is a great, mountain ski town full of full of restaurants and bars and stuff happening. So it was a far cry from Last Chance, Idaho, that's for sure.
Patagonia offers an angler endless opportunities, from spring creeks to sea runs to large rivers like the Limay. When Seasons on the Fly returns, Big River, big fish, the land of transplants and endless sunsets baked in orange.
Before we go to break, if you want to learn more about my personal journey with Lyme disease and the clinic that helped me get my life back, go to seasonsonthefly.com and discover the West Clinic. Seasons on the Fly is also brought to you by C.F. Berkheimer, one of a kind and one at a time, and by the Restigouche River Lodge, come fish the land of the giants, and by Wild Alaska Sport Fishing and Cruises, come find the real Alaska. Hi, I'm Greg Heister. Don't let the Seasons on the Fly experience end when the show does. Go to seasonsonthefly.com to watch fly tying demonstrations, full episodes, and you can support Seasons on the Fly by buying a DVD or a ball cap. And remember, you can find Seasons on the Fly on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and watch many of our old shows on YouTube at youtube.com/GHeister. Thanks for supporting the show, and I hope to see you on the river sometime.
Patagonia, a reflection on these rivers of days gone by. Heads up and unwary fish feeding for endless hours.
They're coming up everywhere. Now they're really up. Yeah. One right here, one right there, one right there. Choices are hard.
So he ate. He is.
You see that in places, in the West, the Missouri River, you'll get those kind of events, but we've seen this every day. Every day that we've fished, we've seen these heads come up.
On this early fall day, this countryside is a bit of a melting pot. It has its indigenous creatures like the armadillo, but other species have been introduced here like the red stag and the North American beaver. Efforts to reintroduce parrots have brought them back to this region.
That was a flock of parrots, Bob.
Well, it really was. I'm
Yes.
not kidding.
And I guess I didn't know all of this stuff when we came to Argentina. So many of the critters, including the trout that live in these rivers, are not indigenous. The red stag is not indigenous. But boy, did we see red stags everywhere. There's a critter called some sort of local llama that's on the hillsides. There's the rhea, which is, an ostrich kind of like looking bird we saw flamingos flying around. We're on a river yesterday floating down, and there was a flock of green parrots. Now, I think they are indigenous. I'm not sure about that, though.
Good job, Heister.
Nice. Nothing better. It only floated by like 6 of them.
Even the trout is a Johnny-come-lately. In fact, you wouldn't find a trout here until 1904.
These are all wild rainbow and brown trout, and they fit. It's like, the elk in Montana, the caribou in Alaska, like they have become part of the landscapes now here in Argentina.
Eggs were transported here from Europe when only ships and horses could carry them. And today their offspring thrive in the region's cold, pristine waters and are naturally reproducing now.
Well, it's a serious commitment. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, they collected rainbows out of the McCloud and brown trout eggs out of Europe, and they brought Atlantic salmon eggs down, brook trout eggs down, and all of those took.
Oh, there. He looked at it twice. He came at it and looked.
I mean, I can certainly understand the impetus, the reason for doing it. I mean, if I was to go back in time, I think I'd just thank him, though.
When you come to the Limay River, the experience is fluid and varied.
Part of the deal, though, they're eating emergers. They're not.
Pockets along the banks allow you to find heads up and a chance to toss dry flies into those feeding fish.
You'll be floating down and you'll make a bend in the river, and the geology will come down. It'll create these back eddies, and there'll be noses up. in all those eddies, eating bugs. So you stop in there, you pull out your little 5-weight, couple little dry casts, and you get yourself an 18 to 20 inch rainbow or brown trout on a dry fly.
These trout will also eat streamers, swung and stripped, and they will hammer the fly.
Oh, big fish! And then you climb back in the boat and you float down the river. Now you got your streamer rod, or you're gonna skate a muddler, and you're looking for these big brown trout that are 25 to 30. They've caught them bigger than that in this river, and they're all wild. They come up out of the lake system, out of the reservoir, and they populate this river. He's not the target, but man, he exploded on it.
He did.
He's a good start.
That was cool. That was very cool.
He's a beautiful
I
fish.
saw that.
Thank you, Diego.
Fish on!
But you come to the Limay for the giants. When Seasons on the Fly continues, Tierra del Fuego is much farther to the south, but the browns of the Limay aren't ready for the back seat.
Yeah, that's a heavy fish. Ho, ho, ho! That's a heavy fish.
Yeah, baby!
Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Wild Alaska Sport Fishing and Cruises. Come find the real Alaska. And by C.F. Berkheimer, handcrafted rods, one of a kind and one at a time. And if you're ready to stop managing symptoms and start searching for real answers, I invite you to learn more about the West Clinic at seasonsonthefly.com. Hi, I'm Greg Heister. Please support the show by supporting our sponsors. Go to seasonsonthefly.com, click on their logo, and let them know that you support them and that you're part of the team. Thanks for watching Seasons on the Fly. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Seasons on the Fly Lodge. The SOF experience continues with this do-it-yourself operation on Alaska's Kvichak River. And by Alaska's Bear Claw Lodge, a full-service trip-of-a-lifetime lodge in Alaska's Bristol Bay. Wild salmon, and ask us about the Alaska Slam and the best dry fly fishing anywhere.
And you know, it's unique because a lot of places in this region, the big fish are in the lakes. And this river is unique in that these lake-run browns come in, and as we discovered, they really are here. You know, we caught a few of them. And
Bob McConkey, a veteran of Patagonia, was the first to hook the river's greatest predator.
Fish on!
that first one hit, it's like, okay, you know, they're here.
Definitely a brownie and a pretty good fish.
28 inches of power and brown junkyard dog, a migrating marauder who found his fly.
And we're swinging two-handed rods, so we're swinging like we're swinging for big fish. So to have that fish just, you know, hit, it's like, you know right away, big fish, and then within a second, the big boil, definitely a big fish. I felt like there was a lot of pressure off of all of us.
Nice! Bob!
There we go.
Nice!
Like we'd come all this way, and we were really, in some respects, we were targeting these fish, the fabled big 28-inch brown. And when that happened, I felt like, well, I've done my part.
Unforgettable evenings. The sun is getting down. The sunsets and sunrises here in Argentina are amazing. And it's calamity, right? Like, it's calamity. And you don't even believe it. Like, okay, it's another 20-inch rainbow. And you go down and like, no, it comes out of the water and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a big fish. So we go running down there and, you know, Bob's just, you know, the heart's going pop, 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 because now you just got to get it in. You don't want to lose the fish. And we get it in, and the celebration ensued, and, you know, you get the hero shot, a great picture, and there we are, evidence that this river has these gigantic, wild, lake-run brown trout in them.
These are the in-river browns and rainbows of the Limay. And then there is another strain of fish that lives in a downriver lake, and they run up the Limay all season long. Literally, They're here eating and harassing, and man, do they make a noise and offer a tremendous hero shot.
You got one? He's got one. Big one. Nice.
You definitely see it in the Limay, where you have like a resident strain of trout that live in the river year-round, and they have a different look to them compared to the browns that are moving in and out from the reservoir. It seems like to be totally two different fish.
These fish are best targeted in the early morning and evening hours, as low light will move them from the depths of the river channel to the shallow bars and edges along the bank. But trust me, they'll eat a fly in the high sun of the afternoon as well.
Nice. I got one of those big fish. We never did measure it. I think it was probably like 34 or 35 inches. I'm just kidding. It was in the upper 20s somewhere, but there's a bigger fish. There's a bigger fish. There's a bigger fish. Yeah, he's heavier. We got it from the boat, and look, it's a bluebird day. The sun is high. It's warm. It's warm. And I'm just throwing a streamer out to the left side of the boat and just letting it swing. And that fish ate it like, boom, it was a little toot, and I gave him a little poke, and that fish literally went right to the bottom of the river. He's out in the middle of the river. This is gonna be a while. This is a 6-weight. But I knew then that I didn't have one of the rainbows in this river, and I didn't have one of the smaller brown trout. I knew that I had one of the big beasts on my line. Oh!
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a
I
brown.
think it's a brown. It's not
Yes. Diego.
not very big.
I don't care where you go. I don't care how many years you're gonna fish. You're not gonna have many opportunities in your life to catch a brown trout of that size. And the Limay River offers you that. It offers you all these opportunities to catch these fish on dry flies. You can strip streamers. You can hopper dropper. You can go to a nymph rig if you want, although we haven't done that at all, haven't needed to.
I mean, there's places, lots of places you can go and, and fish 4 and 5 weights and, target fish and have great hatches. But like you say, there's nowhere where you have like an overlap of a migratory, monster trout. So I don't know another river like it. I mean, if you sort of take out those monster brown trout, I mean, in a lot of ways it fishes similar to some of our, tailwaters like the Missouri, or with the intensity of the bugs and the richness of the ecosystem, as I think those are on par. But it's true, I don't know another combo where you can also then chase these monster brown trout.
Thank you, Diego.
Where else can you cast a 5-weight dry fly 1 minute, and then the next a 2-headed spay and a monster's in the net? Ah, Patagonia, how do you do? We'll wrap up another show from Argentina's Patagonia and the Limay River Ranch when we come back.
Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Seasons on the Fly Lodge. The SOF experience continues with this do-it-yourself operation on Alaska's Kvichak River. And by Alaska's Bear Claw Lodge, a full-service trip-of-a-lifetime lodge in Alaska's Bristol Bay. Wild salmon, and ask us about the Alaska Slam and the best dry fly fishing anywhere. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by C.F. Berkheimer, one of a kind and one at a time. And by Alaska's Bear Claw Lodge, a full-service trip-of-a-lifetime lodge in Alaska's Bristol Bay. Wild salmon, and ask us about the Alaska Slam and the best dry fly fishing anywhere. And remember, you can find Seasons on the Fly on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and watch many of our old shows on YouTube at youtube.com/GHeister.
What more is to be said? If you want a time machine to take you back to the American West, before the crowds and the attention that brought fishers from all over the world, if you want to come to a place with amazing views and sculpted countryside, if you like heads up and trophies tugging on a two-handed rod, there aren't many places in the world like Argentina's Patagonia. If you decide to call Ron and go, count me in. I'm Greg Heister, and I'll see you next time on Seasons on the Fly.
Yeah, I think that people, if I explain that I'm going to South America to catch trout, they kind of wonder, what the heck are you doing that for? You know, and
See, that's how you catch them is...
it's kind of a disease that we have, isn't it, Greg? You know, but I love to catch trout, and I think that to me it's a little bit of a throwback because there's no fishing pressure. There's no got to get to the spot. You know, I've told people it reminds me of maybe being in the West, you know, 100 years ago, where you really are fishing to fish that really haven't been targeted much.
Often asked the question, while I'm up in Montana, why would I travel so far to go chase trout in a whole different country when I can, chase trout here? And I mean, first of all, is you can chase them in January and February and March and be wet wading during our winter months, and fish to trout in summer hatches when there are none in the States. That's part of the allure. And then but I think that a big part of fishing to me seems to be the solitude of it, and being out by yourself is what connects you into it, and it's a different experience of the river because of that, I think.